CIT 1122 Packet Tracer 355 instructional video. In this particular video, we're going to talk about DTP, which is Dynamic Trunking Protocol. It is one of the protocols that you can use to allow switches to communicate with each other through trunking. The other one is VTP, or VLAN Trunking Protocol. That one's not used as much anymore. With DTP, you do want to set it up on each of your switches, and there are a few modes that you can set up. As far as non-negotiate and dynamic desirable and dynamic auto. So we'll talk about those three modes in this particular video, and we'll set our native VLANs like we did in the last video, and we'll score all the points so you can see how to get this done. So background scenario, this is the same setup that we've seen in the last several videos. First thing they want us to do is just go ahead and take a look at switch 1 and see what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at switch 1 and do a show VLAN brief, which is a really cool command, and it gives you a basic idea of what's going on this particular switch. And in this switch, pretty much every one of the ports is stuck in VLAN 1, but VLAN 99 and VLAN 999 have both been created, so there's a management VLAN, and we're going to put an SVI on there. Actually, we're not going to put an SVI in there, but if we were putting an SVI someplace, that's where we would put it. We put it on VLAN 99, so we would do interface VLAN 99 and put an IP address on that, and that would allow us to build a subnet that we could use to manage the device. And then 999 is where we're going to make our native, so that's our untagged traffic, and we are not going to pass anything across that untagged network. We're just going to kind of put it out there and just kind of kill it off, and so that we won't have any untagged traffic passing across our network. All right, seems pretty good. You can do the same thing on switches 2 and 3. They're going to look pretty much the same way. Show VLAN brief, and yeah, they're pretty much are all set. All the ports are still in VLAN 1, 99 and 999 are created, and just trust me on this one, switch 3 looks exactly the same as that. So what they want us to do is go to switches 2 and 3 and set up the VLANs that we're going to use for production traffic. So we're going to have 3 subnets, which means 3 VLANs, and they're going to be called 10, 20, and 30, and the VLAN names are just red, blue, and yellow, and those are just nonsensical names that they're using for, for whatever purposes. It's a lab, and that's fine. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's pretty easy to do. So we're going to do VLAN 10. Whenever you need to name a VLAN, you're going to do the VLAN command first. So VLAN 10, enter, and then name. And the only place you can name a VLAN is after you put it in this way. So VLAN 20, blue, and VLAN 30. Name is yellow. Cool. All right, that's done. Let's go to switch 3. Let's do the exact same thing. So I just did a Control-Shift-6 because I typed in config-T wrong. VLAN 10, name is red. VLAN 20, name is blue. And VLAN 30, name is yellow. And yes, capitalization does count when you're doing this in Packet Tracer and in the real world. So those are done. Okay, cool. Later we'll do those on switch 1, but they kind of left that out for right now. So let's just we'll skip that for now. We'll just follow the steps as they're given, and then we'll go back and pick things up later. So switch 2, create those VLANs. Switch 3, do the same thing. Those are now set. All right, now let's set our ranges. So we're going to set our interfaces to the 3 VLANs that we just created on switch 2 and then again on switch 3. So not too hard. So let's go to switch 2 and let's go ahead and set those ranges. So we're going to do INT range FA 0/1 through 8 and switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. Easy enough. And we'll do INT range FA9, 0/9 through 16. And switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20. Great. And INT range FA 0/17 through 24. Switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 30. And those are done. That's pretty good. Okay, so those are set for switch 2. Let's do the same thing on switch 3. So head over here and we'll go INT range FA 0/1 through 8. VLAN 30, and I think we're pretty good. Okay, so those are done. Let's go ahead and close that and see what we're supposed to do next. So assign VLANs on ports on S3 using the same assignments. Now that we've done that, we can try and ping from PC1 to PC6. We know it's not going to work, so I don't know if we should really, what the heck, it's in the lab, right? Let's just give it a shot. What if it works? And then we can just say, hey, look, we did it. So PC1 here, PC6, 192.168.168.10.2. And that's going to fail. So, okay, good. So it failed, and we know it failed because we don't have any trunk links set up between S2 and S1 or between S1 and S3. So let's go back down into part 4 here, and let's set our trunk links up. So they're going to give us a couple of ways to set these up. So they're going to give us all 3 modes. So there's really 3 modes for trunking. Well, 4, truly, if you really want to get into it. But the first one is switch port mode dynamic desirable. So when we set this up on G0/1 on switch 1, it's going to actively try and convert G0/1 on switch 2 to be a trunk port. The other thing we could have done is switch port mode trunk, which turns trunking on, which is cool, and it'll send DTP packets back and forth, but it won't form a trunk link until the other side is also set to trunking. By default, your interfaces for trunking are set to auto. So if you set one to dynamic desirable, it is going to convert the other side to a trunk link. And then the next thing we're going to do is take the other interface on switch 1, G0/2, and we're going to set that up to switch port non-negotiate. Switch port non-negotiate sets an interface up as a trunk link, but it doesn't tell the other side of the trunk link that it's going to send 802.1q traffic. There's no negotiation. Usually in a trunking negotiation with DTP, there's a couple of things that go back and forth. So there's like, hey, I'm a trunk link. Yeah, so am I. Are you using DTP? Yes. What version? Blah, blah, blah. And what's your native VLAN? So these are things that get straightened out with DTP interfaces. Unless you've got a trunk port that needs to go to another device that maybe doesn't support DTP but does support 802.1q. Or you don't care to send your DTP information to the other device, you can set it as non-negotiate. Now the other side is going to be set as non-negotiate also, and that will work. Or you can actually set it as switch port mode trunk. But that if you set it as switch port mode trunk, it's going to try and negotiate a trunk link on the other side, whereas non-negotiate, it just isn't going to do that. So in this lab, when we do non-negotiate, we'll do non-negotiate on both sides. When we do the dynamic desirable, we'll set the other side up as just a trunk, but it will be set as a trunk straight away. So let's go ahead and do that on switch 1. So let's get a click in here and do EN. I did it again. Oh, the worst. Config T, and we're going to go INT G0/1 switch port mode trunk dynamic I got something wrong here. Oh, my bad. Switchboard mode, dynamic. Oops. Dynamic desirable. There we go. Okay, so that interface is set for dynamic desirable for trunking, and it kicks the trunk link up. And you can see the interfaces just went to yellow or amber, and they'll go green in just a second. So that's pretty cool. So that is set. We can do show interface trunk. And we can see that that trunk interface is up and trunking. So it's in desirable mode and it's doing 802.1q. Everything we want it to do is what it is doing. While we're here, let's go ahead and do interface G0/2. So we'll go int G0/2 and switch port mode trunk and switch port non-negotiate. Exit. Good. And what you're going to see is that that trunk link is not going to work on the other side. It's not going to come up as a trunk link on both sides because we haven't set anything on switch 3 as far as trunking goes. We're not actively configuring that interface. This one's still sitting at trunking auto, and that's not going to bring the trunk link up. Okay? All right, cool. Show DTP, you can do show interfaces, you can look through all that. Go ahead. Now let's go back to switch 1 and let's set the native VLAN. So we're going to go switch 1, T, and we're int range G0/1-2 and switch port trunk native VLAN 999, and that is squared up. And immediately we're going to get a problem with switch 2 because switch 2 is still saying that that the native VLAN should be VLAN 1. Right, so we're getting it, and you can see here, look at the error message we're getting. And we're only going to get this off of G0/1. Oh, my bad, we did get it off of G0/2 as well. Because it is not the same native VLAN as the other side, okay? So let's go ahead and fix that problem. So we can see that that's an issue. Is the ping going to work right now? It's not going to work because the trunking is not functioning here. I guess we can go back and follow the lab and see that it's still not working. We'll wait for we'll give it 2 request timeouts, then we'll come back and let's fix some stuff. Okay. Would the native VLAN mismatch error keep the trunking from working? The answer is no, but it is an issue. Okay. So switch port trunk native VLAN 999. There we go. That should be pretty good. And that mismatch command is going to stop happening now. So that's pretty good. So we did this, we did this, we did this. And we're getting down towards the end. We've only got 70% complete. Holy cow. I wonder what else we need to do. Well, we need to get this link up over here. So let's do that next. So switch port trunk native VLAN 99. Exit. I think we're all right on that side. And let's head over here to G0/2. And let's do switch port trunk. Whoops. Sorry, let's do switch port non-negotiate. My bad. Switch port mode trunk, switch port non-negotiate. Now it's in business. Okay, good. And let's set that native VLAN switch port trunk native VLAN 999. And that looks pretty good too. And unblocking, and that's going to come up, and that's going to go into an up state, and this thing should start working. Let's do what we've been doing. As soon as this, let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Hey, they're all green. Let's check and see what happens. So PC1, let's try it one more time. And go here, ping 192.168.10.2. Is it working now? And it's not. It's not working. Why not? Okay, so the thing is this, is everything is set up correctly, except for switch 1 here doesn't have any of the VLANs that were created on switch 2 and switch 3. So the trunking across here is not working. So let's go ahead to switch 1 and let's add something in here. So config T, and let's go with VLAN 10, red, VLAN 20, name blue, and VLAN 30, name yellow. And that should get it working. Let's try one more time. We've scored all the points, but can we ping? This looks bad. Hey, there it goes. It finally did work. Thank goodness. Okay, good. So we've got it working, and we scored all the points. So good lab.